Guys, Mark the Mentor here, back with another video. All right, so this video I want to do a part 2 to a video that I did maybe about 3-4 months ago. The secrets to running trucks for your box truck business. All right, did this video about 3-4 months ago, and the video has a lot of traction. A lot of people are still watching that video, and it lets me know that's because of that data. A lot of people are still interested in getting into the business, and the comments that they leave are similar to the DMs and messages I get about the stipulations that are being placed on box trucks now. So when I made that video, they were starting these stipulations, but they weren't to the extent as they are now. All right, so it's only right in transparency that I do an updated video to that video based around the current the current stipulations. And what I want to do is I want to explain to you the reason why they are putting these extensive stipulations on these rental trucks, which it's making it harder for new people that are looking to enter the space to get a box truck. All right, and another thing that I'm noticing while I'm at it is there's a lot of new interest in the cargo van delivery business. And I'm thinking one is because a lot of people are being driven away from the box truck industry as far as entering it because of these stipulations. So now they're pushing their interest to cargo vans, and I think the rental truck companies are pushing them. Well, you know what? Well, since you can't we don't have these stipulations on the cargo vans, and that's another reason why I think the cargo van delivery business, that interest is peaking there. So I'm seeing two peaks in rental trucks, all right, and people not knowing why these stipulations are there, and peak in cargo van business because I think the stipulations are driving people to the cargo van delivery business because some of these stipulations a person that's new is not going to meet. So let's talk about some of the stipulations, and these are what I've heard from my subscribers or people who have reached out to me that are looking to get into the business of trucks. I've heard as high as $10,000 deposit. All right, as high as a $10,000 deposit, and so it pretty much everywhere in between $1,000 to $10,000. All right, I've heard you got to be in business 2 years, 3 years. All right, person that's getting into the space obviously isn't going to have been in business 2 or 3 years if they're just getting into the space. All right, $10,000, $5,000. I've heard $5,800, $4,000 is a lot of money to put a deposit down on a truck that they're going to hold until the truck is returned. All right, in my time period of renting trucks, you didn't have to put in any deposit down. $450 a week, which included 1,500 miles. You pick the truck up, you give them the $450, which will be for the first week, and then they hit your car 7 days later for the following week. You just pay the week advance. There was no deposit, none of that stuff. This is all new, and we're going to get into why they're putting these stipulations. Another stipulation. Now, not all these rental companies have the stipulations, but these stipulations are very extensive for renting a box truck. Here's another one that's weird. You got to have a brick and mortar. All right. What box truck owner operator has a brick and mortar business? Your truck is your business, unless you're scaled and you're doing middle mile. You got a small warehouse, or you got let's say a yard where your trucks are parked. You got a small office for clerical and paperwork. You're not going to have a brick and mortar business. So those are the three stipulations, the main ones that I'm seeing. The rental truck prices, that's a whole nother thing. All right, what I want to focus on in this video is why these stipulations. So for people that are getting into the game that saw part 1, this is part 2. Today is October 12th, 2022, and this is the current updated version to part 1. This is part 2 with the current truck rental industry. All right, so we got brick and mortar, right? 2 to 3 years in business, right? And high deposits. All right, there's more stipulations, but we just want to focus on those 3. All right, which makes it hard for a new person to get into the industry. Now, here's the reason why, and I'm gonna keep it all the way funky like I always do. And The truth is the truth. All right. So some people may be guilty of this who may be watching, and this is not to, you know, make someone feel bad. If this is you and you're guilty of it, you're just guilty of it. But this is the reason why they're putting these stipulations. And I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but there's a lot of new people to the channel. The people who heard this before on a podcast or a video, they know. All right, we know what happened last year. Everyone knows by now, okay? Money got into the space, people had money, people started businesses, all right? A lot of people jumped in with no prior business experience. A lot of people jumped in because they had the money, they didn't do the research on the business. And while they jumped into business, simultaneously rates were high. So even though people jumped into the business at a high cost of entry, the rates were extremely high, right? So it wasn't, people really didn't feel that they were paying high rates. A lot of people that jumped in and bought in at these high rates, as far as truck rentals, they probably just thought that was the norm. Not the norm, okay? But they didn't feel it, remember, because rates were high last year and the earlier part of this year. Now, without knowing business and not knowing that, the rental truck business was going through a bubble phase due to the economy and everything that was going on, they didn't foresee that rates would eventually go down in the space, in the industry, all right? And when the rates started to go down, things started to kind of level off, things of that nature. Those box truck rental rates that they signed up with were still high, all right? They didn't go down with the rates, right? So now you got people that are paying high box truck rentals in an economy where rates are low. Rates went down from where they started at, right? So now they can't sustain their business because guess what? They don't have cash flow. They don't have cash flow. So what's happening is, and this is all true information. This is information that I've spoken to people at rental truck companies. This is people that have said, Mark, everything you're saying, my agent said the same thing. So it's not like I'm making this up. And if you have common sense, then, it'll make sense. These stipulations, these rental truck companies didn't put stipulations before. You know what I'm saying? If you had the money, you're in business, boom, you give them the money, whatever the rental is, $500 a week, you pay for the first week, you pull off the lot. Simple as that. You got a lot of people that didn't know business. The rates went down. They can't sustain now. No cash flow, right? They hitting these cards, and now they're getting declined. Instead of people doing the right thing, bringing the truck back and say, you know what, I'm not making no money. The money ain't there. The truck rental companies are hitting the cars. The money ain't there. These people still running loads on the run now. I'm pretty sure a lot of people you heard about, man, stolen trucks. These rental truck companies are reporting the trucks stolen because people are not bringing them back. They're not bringing them back because they don't got the cash flow. They also not bringing them back due to for maintenance. They're not answering the phone for these companies. All right, and these rental truck companies, they make billions of dollars. They have data. They collect data. They see that the issues that they're having with their trucks are all from people that are just entering in the space. All right, the trucks are their business. That's their asset. That's their asset. So they can't have trucks on the run. People not responding. The cars being declined, people not bringing the trucks back, people not bringing the trucks back for maintenance, so they have to put these tough stipulations on these trucks now for people to enter in the space because they don't want people running off with their trucks. They understand that their rates are higher now and that the rates in the industry are low. They're in the trucking business. They understand now. They made the mistake last year, earlier part of this year. They understand now, you know what? With the rates that we're charging, a new person coming in the game that's not knowledgeable, they're not going to be able to sustain in this economy. So we can't keep taking the risk on our trucks. We're only going to rent our trucks to seasoned people. Because if they continuously lose trucks and they got trucks on the lam, trucks on the run that they got to put out as stolen, that's taken away from their business. It's taken away from their earning potential. A person is out doing loads. A person that you may very well be next to, he may be in the bay over from you while you're pulling into a dock in Amazon. His truck may be on the lam. Quiet as kept. You know, there's so many trucks that are stolen. You got people, when they recover the trucks, right? And the ones that they don't, you know, when they take them, when they put them out of service, the ones that they don't sell, the ones that after they put them out of service that they recover from being stolen, after they do the maintenance and PM and things, because the truck may be on the run 8-9 months before the police catch up with it in whatever state it's in. They put it, you know, do all the maintenance and everything before they put it back in service. They put it back in service. A lot of people, you know, I don't think a lot of these rental truck companies have dealt with an influx of stolen vehicles, because you got to take it off the hot sheet. At least that's how it is here. You know, if your personal car gets stolen and it gets recovered and the police call you, they tell you to come pick it up, it's in a pound, you still have to, like, it just don't, you pick it up and then you can just drive it, because those plates are still report stolen. You got to get it taken off the hot sheet, because now what's going to happen is if you're driving, you don't get it taken off the hot sheet, you're driving, police get behind you, right? They run the plates, it's still coming up stolen. Then now you got to prove and figure all that stuff out. So you got a lot of drivers that are renting trucks after they've been reported stolen, they've been recovered, maintenance and everything, and then put back on the rental circuit. A new person comes renting it with good intentions, they get pulled over because the plates are still reported stolen, because the rental truck company didn't get it taken off the hot sheet. And the hot sheet is just slang term. I don't, you know, there's the police terminology for this. I don't know. We call it the hot sheet here. And, you know, that's what it's called, the hot sheet. All right. So that's what's going on. The rental people ain't bringing the truck back for maintenance. Why? Because they feel like, you know, if we bring it back, they're going to take the truck. I'm not going to make money. But what they not understanding is, like, eventually that truck is going to fail on you. You had it, rented it for 6, 7, 8 months. It's got to get maintained. And guess what? If they keep calling you to bring the truck in, and then you don't bring the truck in, they're not going to keep playing with you. They're going to report that truck stolen. They're going to stop taking the payment, right? And you're going to think, damn, they forgot to take the payment this week. Next week, you thinking you riding scot-free. Even if you got the money sitting there, well, I'm just going to keep it there because they probably going to take it one whop. Quiet as kept. You don't know. They stopped taking it because they've been asking you to bring this truck in for the longest to get maintenance, and you won't bring it in. So they're going to stop taking payments, and they're going to report the truck stolen. So they're putting these stipulations because all these problems are coming with people who are just entering the space. You know what I'm saying? These people are just entering the space, and they know their rates are high as hell. And they know in the current state of the economy with the rates the way they are in the industry, most people are not going to be able to sustain. They're not going to have the cash flow. So every week, that $1,500, that $1,200, I've heard people paying up to $2,500 a week. When they go to hit your car, if that money ain't there, that's a problem. That's a problem. So that's why I tell people, don't put yourself in a tricky situation. You know, these truck rentals, some of them are just too much, and you're not going to be able to sustain, especially if you're new coming into the game. You're dealing with a learning curve coming into the industry. And that money got to be there. Those 7 days come around real quick. Real quick. So that's the update to why they're putting these steep stipulations. There's a lot of bad apples that enter the space, and they made it tough for the newcomers. You know, they made it tough, and you know, paying $1,500, $1,800 in the current economy with the current volume, with the current prices. You know, a person can't sustain like that if you have a real high truck rental cost. All right. So that's why they're putting the stipulations, a lot of bad apples that came into the space within the past year and a half. So they want to deal with people who are a little bit more seasoned and professional, and have a rapport with them that they can trust. They don't want to deal. It's just like going to the bank. The bank ain't going to give a new business a loan. The bank don't even want to talk to you unless you've been in business 2 years. And this is one of the reasons why they want to see if you're going to survive. A lot of businesses fail within the first year. So now the truck rental company is like, man, we've had too much bad luck with new businesses. All right, we losing too many trucks. We having to report too many trucks stolen, too many people on the run, so we don't want to deal with it. All right, so now let's get into what to do. A lot of people will mark, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Here's what I'm gonna tell you what I would do. I'm not gonna pay an exorbitant amount for a truck rental because I understand, like I always say, margins are very small, and those exorbitant truck rental costs are eating away at your profit margin. Are you gonna run just to continue to make Penske and Ryder and Budget and all these companies more and more dollars? I got their earning reports. I can show you how many more millions and billions of dollars they made in the first 3 quarters of this year compared to last year and compared to the year before that. I got the earning reports. You know, these are publicly traded companies. They're making money. Their number, they are having, the last 2 years have been record high years. They're not losing money. They're doubling their money. So basically, a lot of people that are running at these high rates are just making them richer. Just to break even or to lose every week, it doesn't make sense. So I say exercise some patience, have some discipline, you know, and shop for the right fair rate. Don't put yourself in a tricky situation. Don't put yourself in a tricky situation. Be patient. You know, find the right rate. And if you have the money to start up and invest in some of these deposits that they're requiring, you got the money to invest in buying your own truck. Me personally, I say in normal situations, in normal circumstances, start off with a rental truck, learn the industry, make sure this is what you really want to do. But now with the truck prices coming down, I think you can find a nice, affordable, cheap, fair price truck if you take your mechanic with you and make sure it's all good. I say now, man, you might want to buy a truck. I mean, if they're telling you $10,000 to put down plus $1,800, right, a week and 29-30 cents a mile, and you ready to go give them $10,000 for a rental truck, you could take that same $10,000 and go put it down on your own truck. You know, and I'm not telling you to do this. This is what I would do. I'm not paying it. I've been in the game 13 years. You know what I'm saying? I know better because I know what the margins look like. They're very small. They're very small. You know, you may be having a good week, and then next thing you know, you got a breakdown. You know, you got to get your truck fixed, you know. The margins are small in this industry. Your truck costs, registrations, and everything that comes along with the truck, the fuel and all that stuff, that eats away at a lot of your profit. All right? And then you still got to pay yourself. And then you still got to bank money so the business can sustain. That's another problem where a lot of people, reason why a lot of people fail. They don't bank any money. They take the money for themselves, and then they don't have cash flow for the business. You know, so I wouldn't at the current rate, I've never paid more than $450 a week for a 26 footer. But in this current market, I think the highest I would go would probably be $650, $700. I'm not paying no more than, I guess right now, I can't even think like how a person in my situation who's been in the game as long as me at those rates. I got to think fair about the current times we're living in. 25 cents to me is too high, but I guess that's as high as I would go. All right, I guess right now, I guess I got to say probably 25 cents, and that's high. So you have to be very strategic on how you move. And to me, 25 cents is too high. I really want to say as long as you're in the teens, stay somewhere in the teens, anywhere in the teens. But anything over $650, I really don't. To me, it just don't make sense. You know, and I'm accounting for inflation since the last time a person of my status rapport with these truck rental companies has rented. I haven't rented a truck since 2019. You know what I'm saying? So, but with my status rapport, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know what? Not my status rapport. A person coming into the game with inflation in mind, I should say, I think $650 would be fair in today's times. And anything about that, man, I'm not going. You know, but you know, people are free to do what they want to do. You know, it's going to be kind of hard to sustain, especially if you're running middle mile and you're hitting the road and your whole the whole business is to run miles. The more miles you run, the more money you make, right? But the more miles you run, the more money it's costing you too. And then if you're at a high truck rental and high mileage with the cost of diesel, you better off just buying your own truck. You know, so and I'm gonna keep it really, really funky with you. And this is not something that I'm advising you to do. If I were getting into the game, don't do what I do. But I'm telling you, if I was getting into the game and I went to the truck rental place and they told me $1,800 a week and 32 cents a mile, some crazy like that, and then I go to a place, let's say I got bad credit, I go to a place, and I'm not saying do this, I go to a place and I can get a truck. They're going to take a chance on me. And I say, you know, I'm going to be this $30,000 truck and they're charging me a high interest rate. I'd rather take my chances that way with bad credit and run that truck and treat it like a rental and aggressively pay it off within a year. The same thing you're going to spend about $50,000 in 1 year renting a truck, if not more, depending on what you're paying, about $1,500. You're going to spend about $48,000 a year. I'd rather go get a truck for 20-something, $30,000 on a high interest rate. Let's say if I had bad credit on a high interest rate and pay that off aggressively within a year and pay towards the principal every week. Like I'm paying a rental. At least at the end of the year, I'm going to own it and I curve some of that high interest and got up out that jam versus me spending $50,000 to one of these companies and still ain't going to own a truck at the end of the year, but I just gave up $50. So, you know, that's what I would do. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because, man, I'm telling you, I'm getting flooded with truck rental issues, stipulations. What should I do? I said, let me just put out the video, tag it to the first video, part 1. And then this will be, you know, my response to everybody to kind of curve some of that traffic for that question. And then with the cargo van thing, a lot of people are trying to go the cargo van route because they can't meet those stipulations. And I think the rental truck companies are pushing them that way. You know what? Well, you don't meet the stipulations, but we got these cargo vans. There ain't no stipulation. You can make great money with that too. That's why I'm doing the cargo van thing now. So that's my take on it, guys. I'm here. I always answer everyone's question in the comments section, so leave your comments below. You can DM me still. You know, I'll answer the same question a million times for a million different people, but hopefully this video kind of slows a lot of that traffic down for the reason why, stipulations, and what to do. All right, www.boxtruckcourses.com for your one-on-one mentorship with me, Mark the Mentor. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all the upcoming videos every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. here on YouTube and Facebook Live, The Mentors Podcast with me, Mark the Mentor. I'm out.